A drone streaks through the Middle Eastern sky, finding its target at an industrial complex. Then, fire erupts. Global monitors like the IAEA are scrambling to issue emergency alerts. A nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates is burning. The timing is suspect. Just hours before the strike, Donald Trump broadcast a cryptic message online, predicting the calm before the storm. Defense analysts immediately noted the implication. It appeared the US and its allies were waiting for an Iranian misstep to launch a massive retaliation. The international media cycle is spinning, fixated entirely on the threat of a conventional regional war and soaring global oil prices. But while the world watches the ships and the markets, a different threat remains unaddressed. If this escalation breaches a nuclear core, the fallout follows a path very few are tracking, one that ends in the Indian subcontinent. When a missile or drone penetrates an active nuclear facility, it releases a radioactive payload into the atmosphere, lifting lethal isotopes into the upper air currents. The immediate blast radius would certainly devastate the hyper-developed globalized hubs of the UAE. Airborne radiation, however, ignores national borders. It travels via high-altitude wind currents. This map shows atmospheric winds over the Persian Gulf flowing strictly from west to east. Once caught, irradiated air pushes relentlessly eastward, sweeping across Afghanistan and Pakistan. These currents funnel directly into northern India, pooling over Delhi before bleeding further south. The geography of these high-altitude currents connects a regional strike in the Gulf directly to the population centers of South Asia. Down at ground level, the scale of human vulnerability is staggering. It is a common domestic myth that a Middle Eastern war mostly brings expensive petrol and gold to the Indian public. The reality of nuclear fallout is a violent meteorological shift, manifesting as toxic, radioactive acid rain falling across the subcontinent. This toxic rain would instantly poison India's entire agricultural sector, severely crippling the national food supply chain in days. To avoid mass radiation exposure, the population would face forced, indefinite lockdowns, while the medical system braces for generational health crises. This conflict threatens the Indian population with contaminated soil and a direct struggle for biological survival. Stopping this radioactive wind requires the United States and Iran to immediately cease hostilities and secure these nuclear sites. But at the diplomatic negotiating table, talks are entirely deadlocked. Washington's demands are uncompromising. They refuse to pay any war compensation and insist that Iran surrender its entire stockpile of enriched uranium. Tehran's counterdemands are completely incompatible. They require billions in damages, the lifting of all sanctions, and sovereign control over crucial maritime waterways. American leadership is boxed in. Offering massive financial concessions to Iran is political suicide during domestic midterm elections. Neither side will yield. This makes third-party mediation, even from a neutral nation like India, completely useless. While diplomats stay paralyzed, millions across the Indian subcontinent are trapped, helplessly waiting to see which way the radioactive wind blows.